Hey dumplings, it's Dave Decide. Today I want to get into Jung Kook enlisting and what people are saying about that and the rumors of when it'll be. I also wanted to get into some unfair government action that Jung Kook may be aware of, and we also have HYBE's new post trending and what happened there. So hater or not, make sure you're subscribed with the notification bell on, grab your dumplings, he's spilling mug merch, and let's get into it. If you are not aware, Jin recently dropped a bomb. It wasn't out of nowhere though. He teased it for ages, and then he released the masterpiece of the astronaut. The song is a bit emotional and the boys going through an emotional time with the military enlistment. I think it's emotional not even because they may not want to go due to not wanting to stop their career, but also because they know how life-changing this enlistment can be, and that when they come back, a lot of things will be different. They will be seen as a man in Korea, and this can be no longer used to criticize them. All that stuff, and I want to get more into that later. But after the drop of the astronaut music video, people were dying to see the behind-the-scenes video and how the shooting process went. By the way, if you want to join me on Patreon, we do fangirl over music videos, and we also did the astronaut. I will link the Patreon below. We have a great time there. A little while ago, we got a little sneak peek on the behind the scenes. Jin went on the show My Alcohol Diaries, and we saw that he was suffering from a bit of a limp. He couldn't move his leg too much and confessed that this was because he was jogging for 10 minutes. And then it turned out that this might have even been during the filming of the music video. HYBE recently just dropped the behind the scenes, and it was so cute. We get to see Jin's thought process and even him meeting the little girl that stars in the video. We get to see what they were picturing in their head when shooting the video and just Jin being a literal mood. There's a moment where Jin had to act annoyed because the little girl was playing games with him, so Jin couldn't smile when looking at her drawing and had to pretend to be annoyed. I forgot that Jin is an actor and was able to do the annoyed reaction thing very easily. There was also a scene where Jin had to play up the annoyed reaction, and this was when the girl was pinching his cheeks. Jin and Jimin both have the best cheeks to pinch. They're so cute and pinchable, which was surprising that Jin admitted no one else had ever done that to him before. This was absolutely hilarious, and of course it made it to the video. Now on its own, it's a cute moment. However, the social media team of HYBE decided to take that moment, zoom in, and put it as the thumbnail. Knowing 110% that armies will click on that super cute thumbnail after seeing that, in fact, the picture and thumbnail actually ended up going viral on Twitter. The thumbnail started to trend. People were posting the thumbnail and then even thanking HYBE for putting that thumbnail. I think this is one of the first times I have seen the fandom collectively come together and thank the company for a decision or piece of media that they put out. They would often thank the artist or idols for the music that the artists and idols make, but I never see the company get thanked for a photo they posted. Very cute, and I wanted to share a beam of sunshine today, because definitely not every day is a beam of sunshine. I think there's a lot of people that try to take advantage of successful people, and in my opinion, if you're not intentionally trying to hurt the successful person's career, then I say do whatever you want. Successful people are a part of the public sometimes, and you can only control so much of what the public decides to do. However, I would not consider government officials to be the public. They have to act with much more respect and can't just get starstruck and do some fairly weird things. Apparently a little while ago, Jung Kook was at the embassy to get his diplomatic passport back in September 2021. A diplomatic passport, if you're curious, is for business travel only and used specifically for the government, and some of the benefits is that the money that they make from their travel, they won't have to pay taxes in that country the money came from, but only to the country where they are originally from. But anywho, Jung Kook was getting that done, and shortly after, I think people noticed that he wasn't wearing his famous bucket hat anymore. And to go from wearing it a lot to never see him wear it at all, people were wondering what happened. So many people thought he lost it. Months later, it was seen that Jung Kook's hat was being sold online, allegedly by a government official, and it was believed to be the same hat that Jung Kook lost at that time. Allegedly, HYBE did confirm that Jung Kook had lost his hat, but did not confirm if the hat that was being sold was Jung Kook's, as there is no way for them to confirm that. Like, the person selling the hat was selling it for 10 million Korean won, which is about a little over 7,000 USD, which is a lot, but 10 million Korean won definitely sounds like this person was trying to retire off that hat. Now, there's a lot of issues here. Since the government official likely has Jung Kook's information, returning the hat or attempting to would have been almost the ethical thing to do. We actually don't know if they did or not. But something that's even crazier was that after the several reports and angry armies, an investigation was actually launched towards the seller. specifically things like the possibility of false advertising and even breaking the South Korean law. In South Korea, there is this law that claims that if you have found a lost item, you have to return it to the police. And then I think there's a timer on that. So if months or years go by and it's not claimed, I guess anyone can just take it. But the seller allegedly turned himself in after the investigation started, and we don't really know what will happen. Apparently, the seller did wait the full time limit before attempting to sell it, so if that is the case, there may not be any criminal charges against them. I keep saying he, but I actually don't know if it is a guy. But I think everyone is more curious about the status of the hat, and if the police will keep it or if they're going to try to find its way back to Jung Kook. It would definitely be a media frenzy should it actually get back to Jung Kook. A lot of people are concerned if Jung Kook is aware that this is happening. Of course, he knows if he lost the hat or not, but is he aware of the alleged government official that attempted to sell his stuff? That can be disturbing and really upsetting. Imagine losing your luggage at the airport and finding out that the flight attendant had tried to sell all your stuff. I would be so mad. People think that Jung Kook could say that this is unfair, and I really feel for Jung Kook if he were to get upset over this. Hopefully he didn't have too much of an emotional attachment to the hat. I assume not, because if he really wanted the hat back, he could have called up the department or police and see if they could ship it back to him, or maybe he was just assumed it was gone. People have been very concerned over Jung Kook since this is not an isolated incident. He has many incidences in which it seemed like something unfair or bad had happened to him. Many people are thinking that the recent news of the military enlistment has been unfair. Jin postponed his enlistment until he was near 30. Since everyone else is reported to follow suit so they can return as a group in 2025, it is believed that the other members before turning 30 will need to enlist. And this ends their own career, and time in the spotlight has been cut short compared to Jin being able to get the full thing. Does that make sense? I see why people are upset over this, because people were most upset after hearing the other remaining 6 members after Jin will need to enlist by 2023 in order to make the 2025 reunion. People were so mad and claiming that this was very unfair for Jung Kook, as he has a long and successful career, to cut that short because he technically wouldn't need to legally enlist until 2027. They think that this is bad. HYBE had talked about the other members going right after Jin, but as opposed to what specific order, that has not been mentioned. But it's assumed that it will not be long before the other members go, and since it could be in 2023, it may be all the remaining members at once. Idols' careers definitely change after the military. Let's not talk about the more obvious concern, which is relevancy, but the concern of if the idol would want to tour, dance, and sing after the military, since they are likely tired. Concerns of if they are talking to other people during the service and decided that after they would much rather settle down and retire or have a family. So since the military is such a pivotal point in a South Korean man's life, these are all in the realm of possibility. As given, Jung Kook hasn't really gotten the opportunity to show what he can really do with his music and his solo career. However, a thing that we all need to consider is that there really isn't a single member of BTS who sees themselves as the idol or celebrity. They all see themselves as part of a big group, and they are dependent on each other. So when they think about making music and touring, they would almost rather not do it than do it without the other members. It's like they see the other members as part of their own body, and so without the other members, it just doesn't make sense. With that thought in mind, you can totally understand why Jung Kook may not actually care at all about pursuing a solo career and just getting the enlistment over with so BTS can come back together. I think for the most part, these armies or fans are trying to look out for Jung Kook and trying to do what they believe is fair. But what you believe is fair may not be what they want. Jung Kook may or may not have any interest in being solo famous. He might, he may not. I think it's a difficult concept to understand when we live in a culture that is all about me and think about me. It can be hard to understand that some people's values are of other things. Jung Kook values teamwork. He values the members. But what do you think about all this? Do you think that this Jung Kook hat incident is unfair? How do you feel about the Jung Kook enlisting so soon? And what do you think about HYBE's thumbnail trending? Let me know what you think, and make sure you check out my Patreon for more videos, link down below. Thanks for this lovely comment right here. Love you, bye.